Deepa Padhi, is a pioneering leader in the Theosophical Order of Service, currently serving as President of Theosophical Order of Service in Odisha region in India, and International Vice President of Theosophical Society. A committed theosophist and retired professor of philosophy, she has transformed Theosophical Order of Service Odisha into a vibrant center for compassionate action, championing women's empowerment through education and economic development, healthcare, mental and spiritual wellness. Under her leadership, Theosophical Order of Service has launched various innovative initiatives. She is a leading figure in practical theosophy, combining inner spiritual transformation with meaningful service. I would like to add a little bit, since I know her for the last 10 years working together in TOS. For TOS India, we require such persons, many, because to address the challenges what we have. In India, it is two worlds. One is in ivory tower, like 5-star culture. Another is in utter poverty, requiring some to reduce suffering. So there, she has that ability to visualize and then proceed and then reach to them. One example I can give, she felicitates women under women empowerment from many years, each year. So some years ago, she felicitated one tribal woman, and now today she has become the President of India. So that is her vision. So now she will be speaking on Women in Progress, a celebration of women's achievement. Please.
Thank you, Sivaprasad, for the introduction. International Secretary of Theosophical Order of Service, Nancy Sequest, and TOS delegates all around the world, my greetings to all of you. I would like to share the inspiring journey of women empowerment in the state of Odisha, India, as the prime project since 2013 by the Theosophical Order of Service. Apart from this, we have projects relating to environment, protection, animal welfare, general health, support to old age homes, etc. The journey of women's progress and empowerment started by TOS in 2013, when former governor of the state launched the project Change the Mindset to Stop Violence Against Women, and administered oath to 400 audience to respect women in all aspects of life, to reject violence, discrimination, and injustice against women, and actively helping them to secure their rights. In 2014, billboards with catchy images, as you can see, and impactful captions were installed across various locations in the twin cities of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, with sponsorship from our international partners. I think this is the appropriate, the right forum to extend our sincere thanks and gratitude to our international TOS partners for their help and support, namely England, America, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and Italy. The book the book, Yes She Can, edited by me, was launched in the year 2015, in which many of our theosophists, including Vic Houchin, I think he's here somewhere, and Nancy Sechrest, Dorothy Bell, had contributed valuable articles on women empowerment and related topics. This is our educational project. I would like to present some of our major projects for women which have brought changes in their lives. It is mostly about the tribal and underprivileged girls of Odisha for whom TOS has carved out paths to fulfill their dreams. As we all know, education is a basic and the most transformative tool for progress and empowerment. Since 2008, our educational project started in various forms, like running a nursery school in Station Bazaar slum, Bhubaneswar, and helping TOS Anibesant School in Raigada in various ways, providing furnitures, dresses for the poor students, starting a library with theosophical books, besides financial help. For girls in remote villages, education beyond the secondary stage is rare. Supporting their education helps break the cycle of poverty, early marriage, and dependency. Since 2015, scholarship is being given to underprivileged and tribal girls to pursue education. From 2018, TOS Italy joined hands with Odisha in the matching grant project so that the beneficiaries could get double the amount of what they were getting. Currently, 27 girl students are being supported by this matching grant project. Besides, friends, family members, and well-wishers come forward to help more students through TOS. At present, the total number of beneficiaries are 40 girl students. This help is extended to each student for 5 years with an annual scholarship of Indian rupees 10,000. Students are provided with pre-owned laptops. Here you can see laptops are being given to the students to help them become familiar with modern educational tools and technology. It is a matter of great satisfaction and fulfillment that many of these girls have excelled in their examinations, while one girl has earned gold medal being the topper in MSc chemistry. She is Subhalagna. I think the first, that side, says Subhalagna Mahanti. Another, Amrita, right here, yes. Amrita was an inmate of Adruta Children Home, a home for orphan girls. Now she has become a psychological counselor. Another, Rani Hembram She was a child laborer. Now she's a medical student. The journey of these girls are inspiring examples of how selfless service, when rooted in compassion and vision, can transform lives. In addition to this, in our educational project, lectures on theosophical and philosophical topics are delivered in the philosophy department of RD Women's University, Bhubaneswar, one of the premier institutions of Odisha. For last 2 years, TOS Regional Conference is being organized in collaboration with the Department of Philosophy in this university. Students are being intellectually and spiritually benefited by this. Economic development. This slide, as you can see, illustrates skill development trainings undertaken for the economic empowerment of the school dropouts and underprivileged women. Since 2012, sewing and tailoring training has been offered, including the introduction of a mobile sewing and tailoring program. Recognizing the challenges faced by women in slum areas to travel to training centers, our mobile team provided instruction within each slum for 4 months before relocating to the next. Through this approach, we successfully trained 500 girls and women. Most of them are earning their livelihood, taking it as their profession. I would like to mention here that New Zealand, Rennie and Richard from New Zealand, they had in fact, they had made a donation of 5 sewing machines to carry on this project. My thanks and gratitude to them. We have extended this sewing training to women of Nuwa Patna in Cuttack district, and they are doing very well as they take orders to provide cotton bags with applique work in large amounts for conferences, private functions, and personal use. As you can see, you know, these are the blouses, the designer blouses they are making, and they also make dresses for children. It's right there. You can see. I don't know whether I can manage to that. Another swing training center has been opened in Bisoi, Mayurbhanj district, last month. Self-grooming and Mehendi art. Self-grooming training includes beautician course along with etiquette, mannerism, and spoken English classes. We have already sponsored 6 batches of self-grooming training for underprivileged girls. Most of the girls trained in self-grooming and massage are now working in beauty parlors. Some are offering home services, which are very much in demand. There are many creative girls from humble background whom we promote. They are excellent in doing mehendi art on the hands and palms of ladies, which is much in demand in Indian marriages and other auspicious occasions. They earn quite a lot out of this service, as you can see, you know, this part, you know. the art on the palm and on the upper side of the palm. This is very popular in India. This is a very important project now in Odisha. This is known as paper plate making machine. The machine you are seeing, that is for making paper plates. In interior tribal areas, whole families spend their time collecting leaves from the forest the whole day for making leaf plates by hand. They used to stitch the leaves and making plates. This manual process is quite tedious and time consuming also. With the corporate social responsibility, which is known as CSR, with that fund, which is a government scheme, TOS has been able to provide 3 paper plate making machines to 3 different groups of women in 3 different villages of Odisha. The earnings from the paper plates, which are in high demands, is almost 3 times more than the leaf plates. The self-defense training. Karate training was imparted in many institutions, including Deaf and Dumb School, girl students of National Institute of Fashion Technology, inmates of Adruta Children Home, and girls of 6 slum areas in Bhubaneswar. Health. Regular general eye checkup camps are organized in women's colleges to promote preventive care and awareness. Financial assistance has been provided to Kavita, a young girl battling cancer, since 2018. A sanitary pad disposal machine, it's there, was donated to Mission Ashra for the well-being of its mentally challenged female students. Not students, female residents, because the Mission Ashra is a home for destitute women who are mentally challenged. Nancy had visited that place when she was there in Odisha. One of our dedicated TOS women members offers acupressure therapy 4 days a week, promoting holistic healing. During pandemic, TOS was supplying Horlicks, fruits, biscuits, vitamins, and iron tablets to the needy pregnant women through our volunteers. A lady gynecologist, who is also a TOS member, volunteers her time every Thursday in the evening for 2 hours, offering free consultations to female patients. TOS extends both material and financial support to help conduct the weddings of girls from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. Fundraising program. Ability Abundance, a fundraising program, was organized by TOS Mahabharat Group, initiated by 2 young girls, Rishima and Sasha. Differently abled young adults, 5 beggars from Beggars Home, girls from Adruta Children Home, mentally children from mentally challenged homes, presented their performances, which were very much appreciated. These 2 amazing girls, who are members of TOS Odisha but live in US, were successful in raising 400,000, that is 4 lakhs in Indian rupees, for implementing different projects for the underprivileged women. It is my great pleasure, I would say, to say that this girl Sasha, this one, yes. She is my granddaughter. TOS Odisha has been celebrating International Women's Day on March 8th every year and honoring with Empowered Women of Odisha Award. These women are recognized for making significant contributions to society. Because of time constraints, I am showing only 3 photos. The first celebration started with the presentation of Empowered Women of Odisha 2018 award to Honorable Draupadi Murmu, the then Governor of Jharkhand State, who is currently the President of Republic of India. The first one, the first. She is a tribal lady who belongs to Odisha. She was awarded not because of her position as a governor of the state, but for her humility, courage, self-confidence, determination, tolerance, spiritual and moral values with which she handled her life. The celebrations of awards also include a young female tribal girl, Kaveri Durva, of remote village in Koraput district, whose inspiring leadership, sincere effort, and unyielding commitment could bring a change in her community status in a remote tribal village of Odisha. The second one, middle one. Kaveri Durva. Next is Pramila Naik, an uneducated woman from a village who has been protecting the forest against all odds since 2007, for which she had been ostracized from her own community. Spiritual and inner growth. Unlike purely material empowerment, TOS emphasizes inner transformation. TOS supports women in discovering their spiritual strength, empowering them not only to face the challenges of their own lives, but to uplift others in their journey. Physical, mental, and spiritual wellness training were imparted to the slum girls. These girls are all from the slums. They were given yoga training by a learned yoga teacher. In collaboration with Manan Foundation, a mental wellness counseling program was organized. And being encouraged by the success of this mental counseling therapy for the slum girls, we thought of starting this counseling project in women's colleges and universities. With the permission of the Vice Chancellor of RD Women's University, we signed a MOU with said university, Manan Foundation, and TOS Odisha to start mental counseling therapy for the students as well as faculty members. It started since last year. Meditation classes are conducted and eminent spiritual speakers are invited to deliver lectures on different theosophical and spiritual topics. One of our old members, Lipa Rath, has been practicing irrigation therapy since 2013. Samvedana Charity Center. Samvedana in English means empathy. The reason for starting this center is fourfold. Number one, this is to create awareness, particularly among women, for anti-hoarding and encouraging to donate things which are of no use to them any longer. Number 2, there are people in the society who cannot afford to buy new items. In the Sambedana Center, new and old items are available at a very, very nominal price. Number 3, these donated items are distributed free in slums, different shelters, locally, and also sent out whenever and wherever the need arises. Number 4, at the end of the year, the sale proceeds are given away as financial help to underprivileged girls for higher education. This center is managed by 2 young underprivileged women. Last year, our international president, Tim Boyd and Lily Boyd, had visited the center. You can see their picture. And when they had come for the regional conference of Theosophical Order of Service in Odisha. Women empowerment is necessary in Theosophical Order of Service because it aligns directly with the core values of Theosophical society and the realization of human potential regardless of gender. Well, when women undergo this inner awakening, they become change agents. Empowerment of women supports the spiritual principle of unity and oneness of life, which is central to Theosophy. The journey of women in progress is indeed humanity in progress. And through the work of the TOS, the journey is illuminated. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And now I will introduce you to Svitlana Gavrylenko from Kiev, Ukraine. TS member since 1998. He is General Secretary of Theosophical Society in Ukraine. She has a PhD in mathematics and is Associate Professor. Head of Organizing Committee of Annual International Forum Spiritual Development for Men and Society. She is head of the Council of Committee for Ethics and Humanitarian Expertising. The title of her speech is Service as a Manifestation of Humanity.
Dear participants of the 12th World Theosophical Congress and participants of the TOS conference, I sincerely greet all of you on behalf of the Theosophists of Ukraine and members of the Theosophical Order of Service of our country. My heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Nancy Sequist to the invitation to address you and to say a few words. Unfortunately, the state of war in which the people of Ukraine has been involved for 3.5 years doesn't allow me to be personally present in Vancouver, but I am grateful for the opportunity to address you, at least virtually. The main idea that I would like to convey to you today at this solemn event is that selflessness, altruism, and service are the main features of a true man with a capital letter, and then a man worth of being entirely written in capital letters. I decided to take this very topic because I have some life experience in this, especially in recent years. Perhaps Ukraine today is one of those places in the world where the inner growth of people is taking place at accelerated speed, where it is selflessness and even sacrifice that had led hundreds and thousands of people, both men and women, to the ranks of the armed forces, and the volunteer movement has become practically nationwide. Therefore, to some extent, I want to share with you some of my thoughts. The first of and the most important thing I want to start with is the inevitability of the awakening of altruism in a personal spiritual way. It was this very fact that almost 120 years ago pushed Annie Besant to create an additional department within the Theosophical Society to meet the clearly expressed and diverse needs of the then members of the Theosophical Society to change for better the world in which we live. H.P. Blavatsky and to Theosophy wrote that life acquires its true meaning only when its purpose became clear and when its brilliant possibilities are worthily appreciated. The most direct and surest way to achieve these higher plans is to cultivate and develop the principle of altruism, both in thoughts and actions. The spiritual path involves conscious effort of a person towards his or her purification, self-improvement, and self-development. And this is a transfer of the consciousness focus from one's personality to the higher planes of the inner human essence, which makes it possible to master new, higher manifestations of love and wisdom, a more powerful outpouring of the light of our divine source for its transformation into truth, goodness, and beauty. The selfless urge to serve is an expression of love and comes from the plan of Buddha. But mastery of service is not by far achieved immediately and requires experience and its comprehensions. Experience is gained only in interaction with other people. If we consider the word love not an expression of a feeling or emotion, but as a verb, then love is identical with selfless giving, sharing, serving, making one's own specific efforts to the sake of the goal which we consider to be directed towards the commonwealth. In the Bible, there is an expression that a person is revealing himself or herself along the road. That is during a common journey. And this is true, because only on a common life journey we can learn to feel the needs of people close to us and learn to respond to them positively and effectively. If we are talking about the skill of service that we acquire through our experience, then there are certain patterns in acquiring this skill. So first, we learn to give what we have in abundance, or what we ourselves no longer really need. This can be material things, or time, or just our attention. At the next stage, we try to do for people close to us what we personally consider necessary and right for them. And then we analyze the results of our charity and sometimes come to disappointing conclusions. There is even such an apt saying, I wanted the better, but it turned out to be like always. This is how we learn to perform charitable acts and become convinced that this area has its own laws of genre. Charity is not so much a science, but an art. And this art is performed not for the visual success, someone's praise, but for the sake of a deep inner feeling of having fulfilled a duty to one's own conscience, to people close to us, to nature, to the universe, to God, and a quiet feeling of joy to be his hands in this cruel world will be a real gratification. Service has its own levels, which can roughly describe, let's say, as a level of consequences and a level of causes. As a rule, in our service, in our charity, we often focus on the level of consequences, because consequences are visible. They have us feel uncomfortable. They urge us to immediate actions. Such service is about providing help to orphans, disabled, wounded, our smaller brothers. Such service means environmental actions, etc. In this case, we face the situation that happened for reasons beyond our control, but we realize that something must be done about it. So we must look for the problem solution. In traditional society, problems were solved at the level of the family or clan. Nowadays, we have reached such a level of problems that the effort of individual close people are no longer enough. Today in the world, there is a huge network of international, governmental, and not governmental institutions that are trying to solve such problems with different level of effectiveness. But unfortunately, problems multiply and grow in their threatening force. All mentioned above suggests that only eliminating the consequences of negative phenomena around us does not eliminate the threat of this problem recurring, and therefore is not an effective means for influencing the situation. Now, if we think about the reasons that make people suffer, experience hardships, and deprive them of the opportunity to cope with their problems by themselves, we'll see that this is also a complex and ambiguous issue. Taking into account the generally recognized fact that the modern problems of humanity are anthropogenic in their nature, someone might see a way out of crisis situations in expanding the scope of international agreements, focused of increased cooperation in order to prevent certain negative consequences of human life activities and industrial production, and creating an appropriate apparatus of control, as well as introducing sanctions in case of a violation of their agreements. Yes, indeed, these tools are also very necessary, but the lower essence of human nature finds a way to circumvent all preventive measures. I will give an interesting example that I read about in the web. A large enterprise that produced chemical products dumped its wastes into the pond. As a result, the nearby city and other settlements were deprived of high-quality drinking water, and the water treatment plants could not cope with their task any longer. In response to complaints from local authorities, the owner of this enterprise publicly announced that he would be he was starting production and sale of high-quality bottled drink water for the needs of the population. Thus, it appears out that modern morality also allows to make a profit from environmental pollution. In my personal opinion, as well as the opinion of my colleagues with whom we have been conducting the annual International Forum Ways of Spiritual Development for Man and Society for the last 25 years, the effective methods for overcoming crisis phenomena in society are educational activity, broadening people's worldview, awakening compassion and selflessness service, and the revival of high moral values. All these are signs of humanity to which our soul has always been aspiring. Who else but us, the Theosophists, should ensure that these traits gain social appeal? Unfortunately, in our society, selfless service has not yet become an attribute of elitism, a sign of a truer leadership. And we desperately lack state leaders who are not tied up by their selfish and pragmatic motives, who are able not only to proclaim and demonstrate selfless service, but to adhere to selfless service principles throughout the whole period of their official activities. And indeed, in the non-historical period, one can count on the fingers the number of leaders who have shown and clearly demonstrated their sacrifice and their certain self-denial. One of the well-known examples of such leaders is Mohandas Gandhi. H.P. Blavatsky in the Key to Theosophy says, to give more to others than to oneself is self-sacrifice. This is a measure and criterion that has distinguished the great teachers and mentors of humanity. All religions of the world, each in its own way, state that the true service to God means serving people. Thus, the traditions of the world understand service as a spiritual path. Improving oneself in service is at the same time both improving and rising to a new, higher level of service itself. Starting with helping victims and deprived people, we must go further and look for ways to prevent calamities and suffering of millions of people in our world. Service should be considered as a natural divine ability of a person, as a sign of his or her humanity, as a joy, as a source of strength, and then it is transmitted by a chain reaction. Service should be considered as a manifestation of a mature personality that is already in the permanent contact with its higher self, its Atma, the volitional principle. In the future, the spiritual flourishing of human personality will allow to release the hitherto hidden potential energy of goodwill. And it is exactly through service, united our goodwills at the planetary level, that it will be possible to change a life of the planet on Earth. This applies to all forms of life, because they all are subject to human influence. So the spirit of altruism, of selfless service, is already beginning its progression. Like all living processes, it is not linear in its dynamics, but rather exponential. It is maturing now, but the course of this process will eventually become so rapid that it will transform human nature and will determine the glorious future fate of the planet. In conclusion, a few more sayings by H.P. Blavatsky. In her article Modern Progress in Theosophy, she says, we put forward a solemn statement about altruism as the first in our declared goals. And we are trying to ensure the emergence of better laws through practical activity. In addition, the key to Theosophy says the following. No new revelation is needed, that each person become a revelation for himself. Let the immortal spirit of man one day take possession of the temple of his own body, expelling from there the money changer and all uncleanness, and his own divine humanity will free him, for having become one with himself, he will also recognize the builder of the temple. The ability to recognize comes not from books and not from philosophy alone, but above all from the truer pursuit of altruism in deeds, words, and thoughts. For the practice of altruism cleans the shells of the soul, allowing light to penetrate the earthly mind. So, dear friends, colleagues, sisters, and brothers, let's join our efforts on the path to good, to humanity, to the bright future of humankind. And let everyone find their own path to the common goal. Many thanks to all of you for your support of Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. Thank you for your attention.